Hey everybody, welcome to Cake Burger. I'm Steve.
And I'm Mike.
And look at that.
I want to always do some type of cool intro every time we do a thing.
Is that Tai Chi or is that airbending?
It's Mike G.
Mike Chi. I'll add that in post.
I've been watching a lot of Karate Kid too, so.
That's Bonsai Miyagi Dojo style.
Yeah. Cobra Kai is on Netflix now. That's good news too. So hey.
It is a bunch of cool stuff's on Netflix now. I just jumped into One Piece, which I've been like dying to watch it on dubbed. I don't mind subtitles sometimes, but I can't watch like hundreds of episodes or something in subtitles. So I'm glad it's like dubbed and on Netflix because I fucking love it.
I think in general I can only watch like 4 episodes a day or something, and then I'm like, I need to take a break from this.
Yeah, which is funny because someone was writing something. Oh, Rob Liefeld was talking about how like they just announced. Well, this kind of goes with what we're talking about in this episode. Margaret Robbie is going to be doing the Pirates franchise, something like that, or like either rebooting it, something like that. And I like and so, which I don't really care because I mean, like the last. I think there was actually 3 more Pirates movies after the first 3. I think there was actually 6 Pirate movies, and so I didn't really care after the first 3. I barely cared after the first 1.
And mind you, people listening to this, I'm not going because Margaret Robbie's going to play a lead role. It's do they really got to reboot Pirates of the Caribbean?
Who's asking? Honestly. But he like the whole point was Rob Liefeld saying, "Who cares about pirates anymore?" And like I would normally agree with you, but I'm hip deep into One Piece right now, so I'm all about pirates right now. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the Harley Quinn Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
All I need to watch is Hook, and I'm set on pirates. So.
People, I mean, you can't complain about a female centric pirates movie because they had one starring Jesse James, I think, it was a pirates movie. Yeah, you know what we're talking
I was just thinking about that myself.
Yeah, softcore porn. Not so soft, like semi-flaccid.
It wasn't really softcore porn.
Well, I have a pretty broad palate.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I haven't watched it. I heard of it from a friend. So
anyway, we're going to start this episode right now. Do a little news roundabout. Some of the stuff's kind of old news. Some of it's kind of like just breaking right now. Most of it is kind of there's one story we're going to talk about that's not related to the other ones. But it does involve like comic book stuff, geek stuff. And the rest of it's kind of like Warner Brothers. What the fuck is going on over there? And not necessarily in a bad way, but like like there's so many different things going on right now. It's like, what is happening? Like who's steering the ship? The first one we're going to talk about. We're going to start things off on a light note. Something light, exciting. I'm excited about. I don't know how people feel about it, considering who's involved. But they just announced that there's going to be a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot movie. Done by Seth Rogen and I forget the other guy's name. His partner who does all this other stuff. I think his name's Goldstein or Gold. He did Superbad with him pretty much.
Yeah.
Are you excited about that, Mike? Or?
I'm really excited. When I heard that news, they haven't really said much, so I'm not getting too excited about it. Yeah. But as a reboot, I just hope the biggest thing is that they respect the source material. Yeah. Well, if it's a reboot. I hope it's the IDW book, the current book. That would be phenomenal.
I've heard. See, it's kind of all we've heard so far is who was involved and what's happening. I've also heard. I've heard rumors about it being kind of loosely based on the IDW comic. I've also heard since all the images attached to the story have been that Imagi movie. I heard it might be not necessarily a reboot, but a revamp of that franchise, which basically started with the old 1990 movie and then moved into 1, 2, 3, and then the CG movie TMNT.
I actually really enjoyed that TMNT movie.
Love that.
I mean, I wish they actually used turtle villains in the movie.
They used Karai in the Foot Clan.
I mean, the Foot Clan was in it, but I was hoping for more, Krang. Yeah, Krang in that universe yet.
It was kind of odd they used the Patrick Stewart character when they have such a
that was my only negative part about it. Yeah. Everything about that movie was awesome.
Yeah, oh yeah.
What you would expect from the original cast of Turtles to become without the Foot really being around and Shredder being around.
Yeah.
and the fact that they kind of built on the Leo versus Raph storytelling.
That's the best part of the movie. Everybody, that's my favorite part of the movie.
And we had the inspirational Splinter speech in this one too, or Raph again, which I really enjoyed.
It's a Ninja Turtle movie trope at this point.
I would say that movie is 8 out of 10. And almost definitely one of the better Turtle movies out there.
I think it's right after the first movie is my favorite movies.
I think that the first Turtles movie is definitely one of the best comic book movies out there.
Absolutely. I said that time and time again.
As regard, especially when it comes to respecting the source material, it was almost page from page from the first book.
I'll tell you right now, hot take, first Ninja Turtles movies, better than any Marvel movie, any DC movie. I will take Ninja Turtles 1 over Endgame.
Yeah, well,
that's me. I know that's definitely that's definitely debatable. But for me,
it's debatable. But I can respect that because it's a really great movie. Yeah, it's definitely in my top 10 of comic book movies. It's still actually Spider-Man 2 is probably my favorite.
Yeah,
it's up there.
As far as Seth Rogen goes, you get kind of a mixed bag because I mean he did like Superbad, classic. He has a bunch of great movies. He also did Preacher. He was a big fan of Preacher. That show was great. I didn't
know that.
Yeah, both the same people do Preacher. He kind of strayed away a little bit from the source material a little bit, but it was still pretty awesome. Still pretty bonkers, and still pretty had that Garth Ennis feel. He's also doing some show on HBO. I think with John Cheadle. I forget what it's called, but it basically involves Wall Street in the 80s and stuff like that. And it's pretty good. But he's also they're doing the Invincible animated series. Seth Rogen and his partner. Invincible, I love it. Invincible is probably my favorite comics of all time.
Invincible was really great for me until someone ruined it for me. But that person will be on our Star Wars episode when we do that.
He's not afraid to be. He's definitely respects the material. They're definitely not afraid to get into like the violence and like the adult themes and nature of some of these comics, like the Mirage original comics were, and even the IDW comics were.
As long as it's not Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon reboot type stuff, then I'll be okay.
Rise of TMNT, you mean? Or?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I think. Yeah, I think that's going to run its course there.
And he'll be no.
I think they kind of like they put on a brave face, but they're kind of starting to walk away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it's in good hands with those guys. The only thing is, though, as far as the animation goes, you have Invincible coming out, and you have a bunch of great movies and shows from Seth Rogen, but you also have stuff like what was that? Sausage Party, which was Seth Rogen and his animation company, which that was in development for like years, I guess, for like 10 years. And
I'd be okay if they copy the style or continue on with the style of TMNT.
Yeah.
That's what I would be okay with, if they did it like that. I mean, it's either that or something very similar to what we're going to see. I mean.
Yeah, I mean, my problem with I don't know, maybe it was just because it was written so long ago with Sausage Party. Yeah, it's kind of like this humor doesn't really hold up, and a lot of times they kind of went a little too far. Do you ever see the Sausage Party? Yeah, I mean,
not yet, but my wife wanted to see it, or she did see it, and she thought it wasn't a sex movie. And I'm like, it's a movie about food. I'm like, no, it's a sex movie.
The last scene of the movie is like that's burnt into your gray matter.
She may have seen it with her parents. I'm not gonna lie, but well, she saw her on a plane when she was traveling, but still. All right.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I'm excited. I like Seth Rogen most of the time. I'm not. I don't think it's the greatest movie, but I was definitely entertained by Green Hornet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, any TMNT is good. I'll give it a chance. There's been very, very few cases where I've kind of flipping. I'm all set with that. Like you said, the rise of TMNT cartoon. It's kind of not my.
It seems like, for the most part, that Nickelodeon Turtles is in good hands with Nickelodeon, aside from the newest cartoon that's out. And I wouldn't really say the new cartoon is terrible. It's just not our Turtles.
I would say it was terrible.
You know, just like the Teen Titans show that's on now, if it's still on. I didn't watch it anymore. Isn't Teen Titans Go wasn't our Teen Titans.
Well, that Teen Titans, I like that Teen. I love that Teen Titans show.
I absolutely hate it. I took over my friend's house one time, and I woke up to his son watching Teen Titans Go: The Mystery of the Sandbox, and I'm like, "What? This is what we don't have Young Justice anymore." This was at the time when Young Justice was canceled, and we got Teen Titans Go, and I'm like, "This is what we got." We got this instead of Young Justice, but
Well, here's the thing: kids watch Teen Titans Go. They didn't watch Young Justice. That's why.
Yeah, that's But I do want to watch that movie, the Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go.
I had that on my DVR.
I gotta watch that.
Did you watch? Yeah, I love Teen Titans Go. Did you see Teen Titans Go to the movies?
No, I haven't even seen it at all yet.
One of my favorite DC movies. It's great. Nicolas Cage finally gets to play Superman.
Finally.
But yeah, I mean, with that show, you can tell it's done by people who actually care and will try to make a quality show. The rise of TMNT just kind of seems like, let's keep the IP going so it stays relevant in people's mind. And this, I don't know what they were thinking of the designs and stuff. I think they're really dumb. But
I mean, the toys are awesome. I have a few of them over there. They're not from Nickelodeon. As I'm pointing, you can't see my turtle shelf. If you can see,
I did. Right. You have the Turtles in Time figures, right?
Yep, I got. I got 4. The first wave of the Turtles in Time. I got it's Leo, Donnie, Slash, and a Foot Soldier. The next wave that's coming in, and I'm getting my wife's getting me for my anniversary. Our anniversary, not mine. It's, Shredder, Mikey, Raph, and I believe
Leatherhead, right?
Which one?
Is Leatherhead in there?
Yeah, Leatherhead. Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
I think the third wave is going to be. I know Metalhead's in it, so I'm excited about that.
90% of my Turtles collection is all in boxes right now, but I want to break it out and start really kind of like getting that going again. So
I'm actually rebuilding mine because mine have all been destroyed or thrown out or lost.
I have a really good Turtles collection too, and that deserves to be shown.
I just picked up the Pizza Thrower, the Pizza Party board game, and I got the Turtle Blimp. But it's not the original Turtle Blimp. It's the I think they re-released it in like early 2000s. The same time they re-released the Party Wagon for the Turtles.
Yeah.
So, but it's better than nothing. And we always had problems with the blimp because the fucking little jet thing always came off. We can never keep it back on.
Blimp sucks. Even in the cartoon, it lasts a couple seconds. They're like, well, we don't need this. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. The blimp doesn't make any sense. Like, why would they have this? But it was a cool toy, though.
It was.
Yeah. So yeah, that's our Turtles.
I want the Turtle Sewer.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be my next big purchase someday.
Give it time, Mike. You have a whole lifetime to.
The only thing I didn't have for Turtles set wise was the Technodrome and the sewer.
Oh, I didn't have the sewer. I had the Technodrome though. They had a Mega Bloks had a new black and I think it was a black and white or maybe it was a color Technodrome set. Yeah, but it was something like almost $200, and I couldn't at the time I couldn't justify spending that much money on the Technodrome. Yeah. So anyway, that's our Turtles news. We're moving to the next segment. Keep things rolling along. With DC Warner Brothers news. You want to start with the movie stuff, or do you want to do some of the comic stuff?
Let's start off. Let's end off with a bang. Let's do the comic book stuff first.
Okay. The big news in the comics. I think that the whole like diamond distribution thing has kind of been done to death. I don't really feel like talking about it really.
No, I mean it's. I kind of feel like it's better to have more than one place to get your books from instead of just
distributor.
One. Yeah. Granted, there's probably other reasons why we only got they were out for a couple of months and it wasn't because of COVID-19. I can guarantee you that.
Yep.
But I'm all for it, and I hope that other comic book companies follow suit. But we'll just leave it at that.
I think what's going on with DC right now, and right now they're I guess they've reached a thing where they're going to continue distribution to Diamond until July something right now.
Mm.
I think what's going on right now is DC is negotiating with Diamond right now. I think what they're kind of like playing a game of chicken right now. I think they're gonna get like lower prices and better deals like that. I think I don't know. I could be wrong. Maybe it will change, but I think what's gonna happen is gonna end up sticking with Diamond in the long run. Maybe they'll do this for a few years and then they'll go back. But really, I don't really care. Even our guy Larry, who runs Larry's Comics, even told us, because what the fuck do I care? Like what warehouse they come from? You know what I mean?
Well, to be fair, I wish that they would all come out on the same day, so I don't have to make 2 trips. I don't read many DC books anymore. I really just read Batman Beyond, and I'm gonna be dropping Young Justice pretty soon. So I really just read Batman Beyond. So I usually go every other week to our guy Larry. So.
Well, what it says, I mean, even if like they do come out 2 different days, and like supposedly, apparently, comic books sell out now, which I've never heard of. So I mean, if they come on Tuesday and then Marvel books, everything else come on Wednesday, it kind of forces comic book retailers to do what they're kind of supposed to be doing in the first place, which is now doing like pull lists, mail-in orders, and which I think a lot of comic book guys are doing. Like Larry's doing that. A lot of retailers are now doing like the drop-off service, the pickup service, the mail-in pull lists. So I mean, if you have like you're reserving copies, what does it matter? You pick them up on Wednesday, you get them mailed to you all. They're all coming. It doesn't really matter. Like
I don't really get why comic book stores would be against any of this whatsoever.
Yep.
They're stubborn. A lot of the comic book guys, store owners are stubborn. They don't want to embrace change, which is why they hate digital so much. And they've done nothing to embrace change. And again, I firmly believe that in maybe not even 10 years, but within 10 years,
not even 10
we're not going to have paper books anymore.
Which I think DC's kind of a lot of we talked about the fixing DC thing. We talked about like having a main 4 titles every week, or like 20 titles a month like that, and the rest going digital. Seems like they're kind of doing that right now.
Yeah.
With a lot, the Harley Quinn books, and they started with Injustice. I think they're gonna start doing that more and more. They're gonna kind of really trim back their books. I think they're trying to go away from weekly comics.
Yeah.
You notice those prestige format, those $10 books, those 80th anniversary books, which are selling phenomenally well considering the price tag. I've heard nothing but good things about them. I think we also talked about them doing anthology series in our Fix DC episode, which all those books, that's what they are. They're anthology books pretty much for those characters. I think they might be going in that direction also. Yeah. And honestly, I mean, to me, I feel like DC's making all the right moves. I think the DC Universe app, we can talk about that for a second, which, I mean, I subscribe to it because I'm a big DC fan, but it's not successful at all. And a lot of the shows, the original programming on there, as far as shows goes, have gone to different platforms. Like Harley Quinn's gone to Sci-Fi, Swamp Thing's gone to CW, and Stargirl's gone to CW. I think what the point of DC is basically they have all these niche shows like Doom Patrol and Stargirl, which they can't just pitch to CW and hope they're going to make them, or Warner Brothers. So what they do is they finance them themselves through the DC Universe, and then they get picked up, and then they get contracts. So they're almost like springboards for shows and movies, pretty much. I also think you're seeing a lot more comics on there available right now. I think eventually you're going to see DC pull away from Amazon and Comixology and kind of make that their Marvel Unlimited hub as far as comics go. To me, I think DC is making all the right moves. From my perspective, from the customer perspective, I mean, I can understand the pain in the ass with the second shipping date because you have to pay a separate vendor, separate costs, and so. I mean, from a customer perspective, I think it's great. I think they're making all the right moves. I think as far as publishing goes, they're cutting the right books, they're publishing the right books, and I don't know. Seems like all good news to me.
And and I think I said before on the podcast, once Amazing Spider-Man reaches 1,000, I don't care for digital, because as soon as it goes digital, whether it goes digital with 851 or 1,000, as soon as it goes digital, I'm never gonna feel like I have a complete run of that. So once they reach 1,000,
but Marvel, I think as far as Marvel, we should do a separate episode about like how they've handled this post-COVID world. For me, I don't think they've they've been completely ineffective and a complete like non, like we'll talk about it another time with that.
Yeah, because there's so many ways all these companies could have came together to save the comic book industry,
and
then they can go back to hating each other again.
It's complete opposite. They've done the complete opposite of unify and come together. They've literally they're eating each other alive from the inside out right now.
And they could have came together to save IDW.
I don't want to go into like some of the recent stuff that's been going on as far as creators and the comic industry and allegations with that, but I'm telling you, it is a bad time to be in comics right now. It's a bad time to be if you're like the stories and stuff like that, it's all good. It's all kind of the same. But if you're a big fan of like inside baseball, like I am when it comes to comics, it is a depressing, dark mess right now that you want no part of right now. With a lot of, and you're not going to see the end of it. There's a lot of creators you find you've loved and all your life and looked up to, and you're going to find out we're a complete piece of shit. There's some I'm just sitting there.
Hopefully not Mark Bagley. That's okay. I'll be okay with that.
There's some I'm just waiting on right now, which I know for a fact that people seem to have forgot, but they're really kind of high up in the food chain, so no one really wants to say anything. Yeah. So I mean, we'll see what happens with that. As far as the comics go, the stories with that, let's talk about our one of our favorite creators, Brian Michael Bendis. Yeah.
He's just a prime example of shining star Marvel. Starts off shining star Marvel, and then comes to DC and just and you know who another creator is gonna be like that? Dan Slott, shining star Marvel in the beginning, and now done.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What's the thing is Dan Slott, when he's focused on comics, is pretty good. But the thing is, he's too busy writing a novel on Twitter all the time about the 2020 election and everything else going on in the world. Which I mean, the guy's lost his mind. I mean, he's always been insane, but I mean, I don't know.
But I'm not going to go on a full rant about politics. I'm no fan of Trump, but keep politics out of comic books. That's our escape. I don't need to come. If I want to read news, be depressed, I'll just watch the news.
I don't mind politics sometimes, but I don't know. Slott, he's like, there was a time, I mean, it was like 2017, I think it was. I remember I followed Dan Slott on Twitter. He was writing about 30 tweets a day to Donald Trump. And it's like, do you think he's fucking paying attention? He probably has you on mute, guy. Who do you think? I'm the writer of Spider-Man, so you need to listen. It's like, what are you doing? It's like, it's a sickness, really. Yeah. But I don't want to get into all that bullshit. What I want to talk about is Bendis. There's been a rumor floated by, it's not official, but it's been floated by Bleeding Cool because they're so reputable. Dan Slott, not Dan Slott, Superman is going to be leading the Authority, the Wildstorm team. Topically
Don't
enough,
they already have a Superman character in it?
Apollo and Midnighter.
Yeah. They're basically the Batman and Superman of that Wildstorm universe.
Yeah. What a stupid idea. It is true. I mean, I know there's some people saying like, oh, maybe he's going to, go on the team and kind of put them realize that they stand for the wrong thing, and he's going to kind of change the way they think. And it's like, no, he already did that in Superman Action Comics 775 that Joe Kelly wrote. What's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way, where they had a character called Manchester Black who was clearly a gender swap version of Jenny Sparks from The Authority. And there's actually a movie based on it called Superman vs. the Elite, which was a parody of The Authority, and saying how that whole concept is bullshit. And that Superman, what's so funny about Truth, Justice, and the American Way? What's so funny about hope and optimism and working things out rather than just being authoritative and cynical? The whole idea is so ridiculous. I don't know.
See, I'm cynical about it myself, thinking that, Superman, Bendis is leaving the train wreck that he made of Superman Action Comics. So at least he's leaving Superman. We don't know if he's leaving Action. It just said he's leaving Superman, so we don't know if it's both books or if it's just, the Superman book.
I don't think it's all the books.
It's probably his consolation prize. Like, you can still write Superman because we paid you all this money to be part of DC, but let's put you on a book that, again, I'm being biased because I never read it. I don't care to read it. I don't want to read The Authority. So they're probably let's put you on Authority. So you still get Superman, but go ruin that team. That's me. That's me about the editor. But
I love The Authority. I love The Authority in 2001. when it was in the Wildstorm universe, and you didn't have characters like Superman and Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. It doesn't make sense in this universe. They tried implementing those characters, Midnighter, into the DC universe or New 52.
Yeah, didn't they brought the Cryptor in during the
They tried. See, that's the thing.
Perfect.
They actually had Stormwatch, Martian Manhunter on Stormwatch during New 52 when they launched. But the thing is, if you're going to implement any Wildstorm characters into DC, which I'm perfectly fine with, the Authority, why them? First of all, bad timing introducing a team created by Warren Ellis. Right? And second of all, if you're going to introduce some characters, as much as I didn't like New 52 Superman, I thought Hellspawn from Wildcats being implemented into Superman was good. Gen 13 and the Cadmus program with Superboy, that was a good idea. You could have Wildcats, Backlash, a ton of other Wildstorm characters. Not the Authority. The Authority don't make sense. You have the characters, but I don't know. But I guess you could put them in the DC universe, but have Superman lead them. What are you doing? What's the end game here? It just seems like are you reading Bendis' Superman at all? Or?
I've tried. I read the first few issues. I read when he revealed his identity to the world, which I thought was dumb.
Yeah.
And I also recently read the latest issue where Superboy's in it. Connor Kent Superboy's in it, and it was so boring.
Don't get me started on that. The thing with Bendis, his books anyway, you can interchange all the word bubbles. Everybody sounds the same thing. No one's.
But literally, his best book is Young Justice. I'm sure his Naomi book he's doing, and I think he's doing the Green Lantern girl, whatever her name is.
No, Gold Lantern, or Teen Lantern on there, and now there's a Gold Lantern and Legion of Superheroes. That's another book that's unreadable. Young Justice is a book with hey, remember Connor Kent and Tim Drake and Impulse, and the art's great, and then the book has no idea what it wants to be. It's
I will agree. That's kind of why I'm dropping it, but I was so afraid that he wasn't going to respect the continuity. Because he couldn't even respect the continuity in Miles Morales Ultimate in the Spider-Man. When Miles Morales came to the Marvel Universe, he couldn't even respect the continuity.
Yeah.
One minute he's from the Ultimate Universe, and then next minute he was from this universe originally. What is it, guys? It would have been so much better if they stuck with Miles Morales as a survivor of the. And it's not dead anymore, but the dead Ultimate Universe is now on Earth Prime, and they squandered that, and they're still squandering it. That part of his origin.
Gold Lantern, pass. It's stop introducing these characters and doing nothing with them. Stop introducing White Lanterns and Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz and infrared lanterns, and then doing nothing with them.
I forgot those characters even exist. They relaunched Green Lantern with Simon Baz and the other female Green Lantern.
And then Cruz.
Yeah, and then nothing came of it. They've stopped pretending to exist, and I'm like, all right. I thought the whole idea was to try and push these two characters, and they
I feel like Bendis just watched a montage video of the year 1999 and was like, oh, Young Justice by Peter David, and oh, Gold Ranger on Power Rangers Zeo, and it's and Legion's horrible. I'm not gonna get into that. The whole idea of the Authority, Superman leading the Authority, is stupid. The latest issues of Superman right now basically says he outed himself. The FBI has kind of come to Lois Lane and listen, you're just a second strike, one more strike, and we're gonna move in on you guys and kind of tell you guys what you should be doing, or there's gonna be consequences for what's going on. Lois never told Superman, so now Lois is gonna disapprove Superman being on Stormwatch, and they're gonna fight, and it's gonna be more rehash and more and the secret identity thing already happened. It's just more rehash bullshit, which Bendis would know if he read the comics, did any kind of research going into this project, but he doesn't.
That's why I was so afraid of Young Justice.
He's doing original things.
Everything that they do, they make Tim Drake awesome again, and Detective Comics, and how he got, it seemed like he died, but he didn't actually die, and he got stuck with Superman's dad. If he's still, I don't know. I stopped caring about that, whether or not that's his dad anymore. But and how they were kind of tying Tim Drake into Mr. Manhattan, Doctor
Oz.
Manhattan, Mr. Manhattan.
Yeah, Mr. Oz. Everybody calls Oz
I was
Man.
so afraid that Bendis was just going to ignore all that and do his own continuity, and I can praise him when I can that he actually did a good job with respecting the old continuity of those great characters that I love. So I'm going to give him the props for that.
There's two clear architects of the DC universe, which are Scott Snyder and Brian Michael Bendis. And it seems to me every other writer in DC is kind of like, yeah, death metal, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, whatever Bendis is doing, no one's like, no, I'm not on board with that. And just, like, completely ignoring what Bendis is doing. It's not mentioned in any other books besides what he does.
My dislike for Snyder is that he clearly loves Batman.
Yeah,
I think he loves Batman too much. And for me, metal completely made me dislike Batman now.
I don't mind. I'm just ready for something. I'm ready for somebody else besides Snyder to be like in charge. I'm ready for something. Can the Justice League just fight some bad guys, like fight Starro, or like, and then that be it? Like, it's like I don't know.
I just really hate the overpowered Batman. When it comes to Batman, I'm an old fogey. I like my self-contained Batman in Gotham. Probably from like early 2000s to past is what I like. How I like my Batman.
I think Tinian is kind of leaning that direction. I think right now you're seeing him with a bunch of like outlandish gadgets, and I think what you're gonna see during is basically he's gonna be knocked down, so like his wealth can be taken away. I think the plan is kind of like knock him down and get him down to like that nitty-gritty detective type stories that people like. I don't know if he's continuing. I think, from what I understand, Tinian's like a fill-in between like the next writer, but I think they should keep him on there because it seems like everybody kind of likes what he's doing.
And I only like Tom King Batman for spite.
I genuinely like Tom King's. Well, I like a good portion of it. I think he needs to write dialogue for him. I think he has good ideas, but he needs that's why that Grayson book was pretty good because he had Tim Seeley doing the dialogue. But all right, let's kind of move things along. Can we talk about how much we hate Bendis as Superman and most of his work in the past 10 years forever? But the other thing we're going to talk about.
Not an episode of Patrick.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, we'll get there. One thing we're going to talk about is a couple of things. I guess one of them just broke just now is Ray Fisher, who played Cyborg in the Justice League movie, has just come out publicly and said that when Joss Whedon and Geoff Johns were on the Justice League set, they were abusive and just complete and total unprofessional assholes. This isn't the first time I've heard this about Geoff Johns. I've heard this for a couple of years now, how he was trying to make a name for himself as a producer and a bigwig at DC and didn't get along with anybody on this. David Ayer also
went to his head.
What's that?
It's like the power went straight to his head.
Yeah, David Ayer, who did Suicide Squad, had a completely different, well, not completely different, but had a vastly different movie in Suicide Squad, said that Geoff Johns came in and completely changed everything. He's come out and said stuff about Geoff Johns. I've heard Grace Randolph, who does Beyond the Trailer, has sources said that Geoff Johns has been very clashed. Was one of the reasons why Ben Affleck backed out of his Batman movie, because Geoff Johns was working on the script with Affleck, and he said even Affleck said it was just completely like this the entire time.
Yeah.
Joss Whedon, he's just a whole other bag of that's a whole other issue. From him being a feminist, but turns out being kind of like a predator, I guess, a little bit, or a fake feminist. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense,
I only recently started to hear some of this news. I didn't really read into it at first. I thought it was just the Cyborg actor jumping on the Snyder Cut movie is better than the Joss Whedon cut, whatever. But so clearly I was wrong. I didn't really read much into it.
There was a little bit of incentive because as far as I've heard Zack Snyder and a couple other people say there were even you saw from the trailer, the initial trailer for Justice League, there were way more Cyborg scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
And they were almost completely cut from the movie as soon as Whedon took over. I
feel like I'm going to hate the Joss Whedon Justice League after we watch the Snyder Cut.
Yeah.
and I enjoy the Joss Whedon cut.
I enjoy Justice League fine. There was times where I could you could clearly tell the difference between what was the original cut and what was added on post. Just that whole scene with Bruce Wayne and Aquaman is there's several scenes in there where you can tell it's one movie and then someone came back from reshoots.
And I know I've shown my dislike for overpowered Batman, but you can definitely tell Snyder's Batman from the Joss Whedon Batman, where, it made Batman confident, and, the Batman that I like, that he was, he can kick ass but not be overpowered. He took down one of the demons. What the hell they called
Parademons.
The parademons. But then he acts like a chump in the Justice League movie.
Which Joss Whedon's he's a big fan of that whole like jokes and joke and quips and that kind of thing. Snyder is very, very influenced by Dark Knight, Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns. He's even back when I remember when 300 came out, he said he wanted to make Dark Knight Returns, and Frank Miller was like, "Go for it."
Yeah.
So I think like why he acted the way he did, Ben Affleck in the movie, is because like he was like, "This is my only chance to do Dark Knight Returns, so I'm going to throw as much of this stuff in there as I can."
Especially when he goes from Batman versus Superman, from like I can take down Superman, very confident, to like, oh fuck, like in Justice League. And I'm like, yeah, I still believe that Superman can just demolish Batman, but Batman can give him a run for his money at least,
Yeah, I mean, as far as this whole like development goes, it doesn't make me want to see the Snyder Cut even more. I've wanted to see. You already got my money on that. You've already sold me on the Snyder Cut.
You turned me towards the Snyder Cut. I mean, I still don't think he's the greatest director ever, but
I don't think anybody.
I am excited about the Snyder Cut now.
Yeah.
I can admit I'm wrong, and I'm wrong about it.
As far as Geoff Johns goes, I think Geoff Johns hasn't made anything that I'm interested in after Flashpoint, which is something we'll talk about in a second. Besides Aquaman, I like his Aquaman New 52, but it kind of makes sense why he's kind of like faded away a little bit out of DC, the spotlight, and as far as DC goes. The only thing, I mean, he finally finished. What is the Watchmen, Doomsday Clock? 3 Jokers has finally come out after several years. And Stargirl's come out now. But I mean, it's this kind of stuff it makes sense to me. Joss Whedon, as much as I love Buffy and like the first 2 Avengers movies and Astonishing X-Men, he seems like a kind of, even just like watching interviews with him, he seems like kind of a garbage human being anyway. He said he was constantly like annoyed with the fact that people were having fun on the Avengers movies. He can't stand people talking, and like he can't stand celebrities, and like he just seems like a real miserable prick. Yeah. But I mean, it kind of makes sense why his Batgirl movie never went forward. So I mean, this kind of all adds up a little bit. So I mean, I'm inclined to believe Ray Fisher when he says this kind of stuff. You even say the thing too, because I guess when Justice League came out, he was doing a press and saying how like he was kind of talking up Joss Whedon, and you can see Jason Momoa kind of like making faces, like I don't think he was doing it on purpose, but kind of like like what, like okay, buddy, like whatever. And so it was kind of funny to watch that. Speaking of Flashpoint, apparently they're making a Flashpoint movie that might have Flash in it. I don't know.
I still don't think this movie's gonna exist ever. There's like they keep losing, writers, directors on this. Ezra Miller is kind of a scumbag human being now too, apparently.
The thing is, the people
whatever his name is.
Ezra Miller, yeah. The first people who originally to do this movie back when I think Man of Steel or Batman vs Superman was announced was Lord Miller, who did Spider-Verse, and like it was supposed to do. They actually quit the Flash movie to do Solo, and then were fired. As far as Ezra Miller goes, why aren't you recasting him? That he's anything he's attached to right now is toxic.
Even on Fantastic Beasts, they say he's a garbage human being too.
Yeah, and honestly, when you see him at these like Comic-Con and stuff, he takes away. It's all about him. It's like he's really he doesn't seem very likable. I guess he has a big kind of like cult following as far as like the LGBTQ like community and all that kind of. He's very ambiguous, and I don't know. I'm not a fan of him. The only movie I remember seeing him before any of this even started was Perks of Being a Wallflower, I think it was called. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. I think you can easily recast him. Cast like Freddie Highmore, or like just get Grant Gustin from the show.
Yeah, that universe doesn't even really exist anymore unless we know that the Snyder Cut is successful. Then it might carry on HBO, but I don't think it's going to carry on in the movie theater. We're not going to see a sequel to that in the movie theater.
Well, you had a perfect opportunity to get rid of him. He disappeared in the Crisis show on CW. Ezra Miller showed up, with Grant Gustin, and he faded away. So you could, oh, he's all gone now.
Yeah.
Now that, you know, I mean, I don't know, but I mean, the thing is too. But the thing everybody's talking about is not even the Flash or Flashpoint. It's the fact that WB is trying to get Michael Keaton to come back as Batman in the Burton universe as the Nick Fury of the DC universe. I don't know. Like, how do you feel
playing
about that?
Batman, or is he just playing a Nick Fury type character of the?
He's playing Batman, but they want him to.
I don't care.
But they want him to kind of be like the Nick Fury, where he kind of gets everybody. I don't know. See, the thing is, everybody's making these assumptions. Everybody knows exactly what the storyline is going to be. Initially, it was supposed to be Jeffrey D. Morgan as Thomas Wayne from Flashpoint. Yeah. Now they're saying again Michael Keaton. Now they're saying Thomas Wayne's not even going to be in there. Now the whole storyline with the Nick Fury thing, Nick Fury type character for Michael Keaton is in the Burton universe. And like,
so yeah, because it's like he's not even signed to do it yet because. I guarantee he might sign because we went through this with him being with the Spider-Man universe where, we're in talks to have Michael Keaton be in a Spider-Man movie. The movie was almost made and done before they said, oh, yeah, Michael Keaton's going to be in this movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure like a year, not even months before it came out, they were like, oh, yeah, we signed Michael Keaton to be part of this movie. It's like,
see, the thing is,
the movie's coming out in 2 months.
He still hasn't signed.
Yeah.
And now they're saying if Michael Keaton doesn't sign, they're going to court Christian Bale.
Ugh.
And it's like, okay, so there's no fucking plan for this movie. There's nobody. There's clearly no screenplay because, like, you know, I guess, like, you know, if you're gonna, because they're saying like, oh, if you bring Michael Keaton back, you can bring back all the other characters. Who? Catwoman and Vicky Vale? Because everybody else dies in it. The Batman's a murderous psychopath in the Burton universe. They're saying they're going to ignore the Schumacher movies, which is in horrible taste because the guy just died last week.
Yeah. What a perfect universe to forget this fucking Flashpoint movie that's never going to exist. This is how DC can beat Marvel in the movies. You know, the Marvel movie is going to be kind of down in the downward, not with spiral, but downward trend, I think.
I think they got lost.
All their favorite characters are gone. Captain America's gone. Well, Steve Rogers is gone. Tony Stark's gone. Thor's going to be gone soon. And what a perfect opportunity that we talked about this before to do Elseworld-type movies.
Yeah.
You sign him on to do Batman Beyond in the Tim Burton universe. You can still have the Schumacher stuff, like, you know, Bane, part of that universe. Those movies are still all connected, I think. There's still sequels to the
same
Michael
Commissioner,
Keaton.
Same Alfred. You know what I mean?
You can they have all the villains. So I still think that the Schumacher and the Tim Burton universe are the same universe.
Yeah, me too.
Those movies are sequels to, you know, Michael Keaton. Because Michael Keaton would have been in these movies, but he just didn't like a script or whatever the reason why he left.
And people make reference to
never a reboot.
Yep.
So you have the perfect universe where you have all the villains. You know, you have Mr. Freeze, you have the Penguin, even though you kind of kill them all, but still, the Batman the Animated Series, the Batman Beyond is a sequel to that, and you can have like the cave of all the old Bat stuff in it, like the giant coin, Two-Face stuff, everything you can put in there. It's the perfect universe.
Alicia Silverstone can be Commissioner.
Yeah,
you
have the perfect universe to have Batman Beyond in, and that's how I think they could beat Marvel in the movies. Because let's look what's coming up for Marvel for movies. The only thing I'm looking forward to, go figure, is Spider-Man. I'm looking forward to Captain America and Falcon and Disney Plus. But other than that, I'm not really looking forward to the new Marvel next phase.
I'm looking forward to WandaVision and Shang-Chi, and that's it.
Yeah.
But even those, I think they kind of lost momentum. I think Marvel's, I don't know, they're going to have to do a lot to kind of rebuild that momentum again. But as far as this Flashpoint movie goes, it just seems to me I don't know, like you said, I don't know if this movie's gonna come out. It kind of seems like WB is like, is this what you want? Do you want Michael Keaton? Would that be good? Or Christian Bale? Would you like that? Like, is that something you like? Do you want Flashpoint because the only storyline you know the name of, even though this movie sounds like it has nothing to do with Flashpoint? Yeah. Is that what you want? Like, you know, it's like it's stupid. Don't make this movie. How about just a Flash movie with like the Rogues and like, you know, like that type of thing? I mean, I don't know. It's like,
I mean, they're saying, I heard that the Wonder Woman movie is gonna be the Flashpoint of the resetting the universe type thing.
I've heard that's been disproved. And now I've heard like people were trying to get Affleck to come back for like an HBO show, and it's like, oh, I don't know.
Well, I think that if you're gonna see a continuation of the actual DC cinematic universe, the Snyder universe, it's gonna be on HBO.
Do that. Do an anthology show. And honestly, I mean have Zack Snyder and his crew do Justice League Unlimited, the show.
Yeah.
Like, and do a Game of Thrones style, big budget, give them the money. I mean, people act like this, like they gave him like $20 million, $30 million. Like, that's like a whole other movie. It's like Disney Plus pays more than that for like High School Musical, the movie, on their Disney Plus. So that's not a lot of money. Like, so I mean, like, people act like it's like they try to find any excuse to undercut this movie. Just be happy. You're getting another Justice League movie. Don't you like comic book movies? You're getting more comic book movies. Like, just just enjoy it. But this whole thing is kind of like, what do you like? DC, you never fail to disappoint when it comes to disappoint. Currently with the movies, just do what you were doing before with like the Burton movies, the Schumacher movies, the Christopher Reeves movies. Like, just do what you were doing before. Just make standalone movies. Okay, we did 3. Now we're done. Now we're gonna reset. New Batman, new Superman. Like, no one. I mean, I lived through it and I was fine. They recast Batman 4 times, but 6 times in my lifetime.
There's still too much turmoil in WB Time Warner to again, I feel like it's just like when Time Warner took over WCW. It was just chaos, and I really hope it doesn't follow suit with DC Comics and what happened with WCW. But yeah, it's just I don't. Ooh, wow, fancy schmancy! I can see. Way to go! It's just turmoil in the head honchos. They're just going. Yeah.
Figure it out. If you're not competing with Marvel, don't compete with Marvel. Don't say, "Oh, we're not doing what they're doing," but we really are. But
if you know what they should do, they should do what Marvel's doing and do a connected universe. If they're gonna do a connected universe,
yeah.
If not, do standalone movies, do Elseworld Tales type movies, and let the HBO be, like you said, be the DC universe.
They should do that. I mean, Marvel has Kevin Feige. When I heard that J.J. Abrams signed on to Warner Brothers, this big deal, and everyone was saying he's going to take control of the DC universe, that's fine. J.J. Abrams doesn't make any movies, but he's friends with like Matt Reeves, who's doing Batman, Patty Jenkins, Brad Bird, all these other cool directors. Like, and have them do okay, here's our team. What do you want to do? You want to do Green Lantern? Do Green Lantern. That's another thing too. Quick before I forget. I'm pretty sure Ryan Reynolds is supposedly making a cameo in the Snyder Cut of Green Lantern. I guess when Kevin Smith,
that movie.
When Kevin Smith was doing the last, he was visiting the set of the last Rise of Skywalker, and there was a bunch of people who were on set of Justice League, and they were saying, yeah, there was a green light in that, and that was Green Lantern. And there, Ryan Reynolds has also done press junkets where he's basically described the plot of the Snyder Cut, I think, and there was actually a DC documentary I was watching on YouTube that Ryan Reynolds narrated, and he made sure he made extra emphasis in his voice when he talked about Green Lantern. I think you're going to see Ryan Reynolds come back as Green Lantern. Maybe not in the long run, that Green Lantern show. This could be on HBO Max or what. But it wouldn't be the first time. I mean, Reynolds played Deadpool in one movie and then came back again as a not reincarnated, a different version of him. So
he bashed both of them. So
yeah, wouldn't be out of his wheelhouse to do the same thing again with DC. Yeah. So I mean, that's I think that's all we get for news. Unless you can think of anything else.
No, I can't. There hasn't really been anything big news-wise, unfortunately, for comic books or the comic book industry that there should be. We hope would hear, but no, I got nothing. Yeah.
So I guess we'll talk about it another time when something cool happens, I guess. But I guess that'll do it for us this time, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. Please hit that notification bell so you can know when more Cake Burger content's coming out. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, and the more you like it, the more we produce.
What an ending. Yep, that's it.
I finally figured out that damn Elgato device so I can start doing some next-gen systems. So, man, I finally figured. I was so excited when I figured that out. And I was like, jumping and dancing and shit. I'm so excited, but so that's gonna come soon too.
Awesome. Well, we'll do better next time, guys.
Yeah, we'll do better next time. That's our thing.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
No!